Assalamu alaikum. And actually, I just decided we're going to go outside. I do not want to sit inside today. I'm going a bit stir crazy, so let's go. I was never good at just sitting down and just focusing on like school or work. And even though I enjoy thinking, I actually prefer to have more physical jobs. I find that I do my best thinking when I'm on the move. So, anyways, so I've been gone for 2 months. There's been a lot of thinking, a lot of work going on behind the scenes. And basically, what today's video is about is I want to tell you guys what the plan is for this channel, and then also let you know that I have a really big announcement coming, and I really want you guys to be a part of that as well. As I literally turn 40 years old in a couple of weeks, I have been realizing I don't have enough time for everything. And so I have to make sure my priorities are straight. There were a lot of things that were getting me to think about what the channel was about, what I was doing. Amongst those things, friends that were asking me what exactly the channel is about, and I couldn't explain it. And then also being asked what kind of videos I wanted to make. And so one thing I realized is that I enjoy doing voiceovers so that I can just walk around outside and focus on shooting and then come home and focus on doing the voiceover. And so then it goes without saying that I have realized I really enjoy walking around outside. So that's what I'm going to do for this video. I'm going to walk around outside and do a voiceover. I still haven't decided where exactly I'm going to go. So I just shot a random shot of a tree. Anyways, so this channel has had all sorts of videos on it. Some have been talking about Islam, some have been talking about commonalities between Japan and Islam, some have been interviews with Japanese Muslims, some have been talking about random things that I do in my life. And so I had to stop and think, and at this point, what I really want this channel to be about is the voice of Japanese Muslims themselves. Not only because I think it's an important thing for the world to see, but I also believe that that is really the only way that we can establish a authentic and original Japanese Islamic identity. Those voices being heard is probably one of the most powerful forms of da'wah right now. Having said that, I also really enjoy walking around Japan and just sharing my thoughts with you. So as long as you guys are okay with it, I'm hoping to continue videos like this as well, inshallah. There definitely has been a noticeable uptick in hate in the comment section. So what better way to fight back against that than to have Japanese Muslims themselves speak to show and reinforce the point that Islam is not a religion that belongs to one people or one race, but it is a religion that belongs to all of humanity. And there's nothing in reality about the practice of Islam in Japan or about Muslims living in Japan that is somehow forcing something upon Japan or invading Japan or trying to, force Japan into the Islamic way of doing things. As I've mentioned before, debate really just doesn't work in Japan. And I don't really expect many people to have their opinions changed by watching my videos. However, what I do hope is that while their opinions may not change, their perception or their understanding of what I'm talking about might. They might see that Islam is not something that's necessarily foreign to Japan, and that the life that Muslims live and lead in Japan is not something that's somehow threatening to the Japanese identity or the people of Japan. And in fact, in many ways, it's the presence of Muslims in Japan that is supporting the economy and creating a positive presence of good citizens who work hard, take care of their families, have lots of children, pay taxes, don't drink, don't go out clubbing, and actually contribute to society in meaningful and positive ways. So the type of dawah that Japan needs right now is really just seeing the reality of Muslims in Japan. And that reality will speak a lot louder than logic or stories or proofs from the Quran. There is a certain type of quote unquote dawah videos out there that are really borderline, where I question if the da'i is actually honestly trying to bring people, invite them to Islam, or if the goal is really just to have a you got served moment and make the Muslims watching the video feel good, feel vindicated, feel like their voices are being heard. While there is value in giving a boost of iman and making people feel strong in their faith, I don't know if it's worth the cost of pushing away non-Muslims and then dressing that up as dawah. And so instead of going about dawah in this very direct way that I think oftentimes can be more for the Muslims watching it than for non-Muslims watching it, I really just want to focus on the realities on the ground for Japanese Muslims and, just the realities of my life, as I feel maybe that itself will not convert anyone to Islam, but at least it can get rid of some of the stereotypes that people are holding and make them open their minds a little bit to realize that there are Japanese Muslims in Japan and a significant number of them growing each and every year. There actually was another type of video that I was doing on my channel that I think has a lot of value. It was talking about a lot of the shared cultural aspects of Japanese culture and with Islamic culture or with other Islamic countries and their cultures. And I think that there's a lot of common ground to be found. And there's a lot of potential synergies where maybe it's not the same thing in Japanese culture and Islamic culture, but if you look at the two worlds, you can see how it might be possible for them to work together in a really meaningful and profound way, where there's a type of synergy, a type of possibility between Japanese culture and Islamic culture that really has not been tapped into yet. I'm a sincere believer of this, and I really do believe that Japan could benefit the entire Islamic world in the same way that Islam can benefit Japan. As one of the brothers in the videos I interviewed before, Mustafa-san, he said he doesn't really want or expect Japan to become like an Islamic country or an Islamic majority, and that's not really what he wants. He just wants Japanese Muslims to be accepted as something normal. The same way that perhaps people know that there are Chinese Muslims and it's not a strange thing. And one of the ways we can get there is by focusing on these similarities between the cultures. And I think the best way to do this is, in fact, not as a Muslim da'i, but instead by involving non-Muslim Japanese people in the conversation as well.
Man, this road is so steep. I don't know if you realize how steep this road is. I would not want to fall down this hill.
So in regards to this collaboration with non-Muslim Japanese in finding this common ground, I'm not going to have enough time on this video.
So I guess that brings me to the important part of this video, which is
I'm finally ready to go all in. I'm going to show you what I've been working on, and I'm looking forward to building it together with all of you. And if you're not subscribed, it might be a really good time to do so. I'll see you on the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.